Hello everyone, and welcome to another Vlognukkah with Locked In with the Liggins. I am Mariah and welcome back to the Liggins Family YouTube channel. So I want to say happy Hanukkah, happy Feast of Dedication, happy Kwanzaa, happy holidays to my family, to yours. It is about to get very, very cold. In Georgia, it's actually already cold, and I really feel like this is a time where people really find themselves at home a lot, and also just being able to recenter, reconnect, take that time off from work, that much needed time to yourself. So I really wanted to do a video that talked about my self-care routine, and this is a daily self-care routine because I feel like self-care should be all the time, and I actually really enjoy my self-care routine. I love my self-care routine to myself. I'm always really excited to spend time with myself. Sorry y'all, that's my computer. I love to spend time to myself as well. Every day I do a self-care routine. I have self-care routines that I do that's daily. I have a routine that's weekly, and I also have like a monthly self-care, and those things actually look different. The reason why I wanted to come up with a schedule for my self-care, because I realized that if I didn't come up with a schedule for it, it just wouldn't happen. And then the things that I thought I was doing for myself that was self-care really wasn't self-care. It was me doing for others. And I understand, like, as women and men too as well, but women, oh my gosh, you all know we juggle a lot sometimes. We multitask a whole lot. Like me, I have several streams of income, which means I have several positions and jobs. I also have a lot of educational things that's going on for myself that I'm very excited about. I'm running a household, cooking, cleaning, taking the kids and myself and my husband. We're going to our congregation, and you know, the kids are in sports. Like, there's so much going on, right? And in the mix of all of that, it's so easy to like lose yourself a little bit, and also just feel obligated to be everything to everybody except yourself. So I discovered for myself, for all of 2022 and 2021 I was doing this, oh my goodness, I rediscovered how to absolutely cater to myself, love myself, and just really do for myself. My self-care routine was really honestly inspired by my son. When I lost my son, so if you're new to my channel, my husband and I have gone through several miscarriages, and we went through in 2020 not only the pandemic, but we also lost our son in 2020 named Cairo to incompetent cervix. If you all are interested in that journey, definitely click the links below this video, because I have several videos explaining what it is and how we lost him. But the reason why that's important here is because during that time I really was just in a space where I was really my lowest I could have been, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Like, I was really going through a tough time. And you know, losing a baby, the first thing I thought in my mind was, what could I have done better? Or like, I kind of blamed myself from time to time, even though it was not my fault and there was nothing I could have done. It was hard to kind of get over that hump. So I discovered new ways to like love myself, and also cater to myself and be with myself, and really take care of myself. And I realized that in doing that, oh my gosh, it definitely helped me to grieve better. Grieving is always hard, but it helped me to process my thoughts and feelings better. It helped me to continue to love myself more. It helped me continue to just grow and be stronger mentally, physically, spiritually. Like, doing self-care for myself was just something that I really valued, and something that I really will say helped me get through that hump of losing my son. Coming up with a self-care routine, because I had to learn how to fall in love with myself all over again, because of how broken emotionally and mentally I was from the loss, and feeling like your body betrayed you for something you loved so much. So it's a very hard, and for women that have gone through any kind of loss or infertility or lost a child, period, you know how much you go through mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It is a tough road, you know, and it's a road that you got to continue to drive down even way after the person that you love has passed. And I also realized in having friends that have like a household that they're running, or that is married with multiple children, or that's not married and single, like, as women, like, oh my gosh, we just take on so much, I feel like, and you forget to cater to yourself. You forget self. And so I wanted to share with people my self-care routine and the things that I have been doing when it comes to self-care, because I realized with me doing these things, I have literally been, I want to say, stress-free. You know, I really love it. So I want to go through my top 10 ways of self-care and what I do as far as my self-care, and I hope to inspire people out there to really spend time loving on themselves and come up with whatever your self-care routine looks like. Come up with it and make it something that's for you, not something you're sharing with a whole bunch of people, and not something you have to do for somebody else. Really come up with something that's going to be sustainable, something that's going to be affordable, something that's going to be easy, quick, something that's going to mean something for you, so that way you can maintain your self-care routine long term. All right, you all, so I am going to go ahead and start showing you all some of the things I do for self-care. My self-care routine means a lot to me, and in the winter time and also throughout the year, it's just good to have like a self-care routine. So I definitely say my first tip for a self-care routine is to establish how often you want to do a self-care routine for yourself. Some people do daily routines, some people do weekly routines, monthly, yearly, whatever works best for you. That's what I say you should do. For me, I do, you know, y'all, my locks just do anything. Oh my gosh. But for me, I actually have different types of self-care routines, and I identified what that looked like in each routine. So first, I'd have a daily self-care. The daily self-care routine is something easy, something very manageable for me, because I realize if I'm going to do something daily, and with my very busy life, it needs to be something that's quick, that I can manage, and something that's inexpensive. So what I have discovered with my daily routine is every day after 8:30. So my kids, I make sure that first off, everything is done in my household by 8 o'clock. That means homework for my children, I'm done with work at work, dinner is finished, the kids have had their baths, anything that I need to wrap up as far as cleaning the house or whatever, all done by about 8:30. The reason why that's important is because that means all of my responsibilities are wrapped up by 8:30, and I give myself a little wiggle room. If I can't meet the 8:30, 9 o'clock is definitely my cutoff. The kids are to bed by 8, so Kaylee goes to bed at 8 or a little after 8, and Kyler gets a little extra time since she's older. She goes to bed at about 8:30. I'm really strict on the bedtime for the children because, again, after 8:30 or right at 9, that's mommy time. So again, I love my children so much. Yes, I do. However, I do have a daily strict cutoff. I put the kids, I make sure they have their bath, I read to them at night, and I tuck them in. So they get a little time with me at night, and then after that, it's kisses, good night. So I noticed that that is how I'm able to really keep my daily routine, because I literally cut off everything by 9 o'clock at the latest, and that has helped me to have a daily routine. So my first tip is to really establish a schedule for yourself if you're gonna do a daily self-care. Now, I do have a monthly self-care. I always see people spend their entire check on bills before they get anything for themselves. Well, every month when I get paid, my first purchase is to myself. Yes, it is. I actually set aside some money to go and purchase something for myself every month. And it could be anything. It could be some nail polish I wanted. It could be a Shein order. It could be some books I wanted. It could be something that is literally for me, and I do that every month, and that is how I give back to myself. The reason why I love the monthly one so much is because it's like a monthly reward. You know, it's something I look forward to every month. I'm like, what am I gonna get myself? You know, it's something that makes me excited. You know, as you become adults, you don't really get a lot of gifts, or people aren't really just giving you a bunch of stuff for free. And so the most exciting thing for me is looking forward to what do I want? What do I want to get myself? If I don't want something every month, I take the money that I don't spend on myself and possibly save it. I will save it so that way if I want a little chunk of change to do something at some other time, or I want a larger purchase, then I can save it for that. But rewarding myself monthly, and I don't even like to say rewarding, it's really just spoiling myself, I guess. Monthly is something that has really helped with self-care, because you will find that you will go in the store and buy something for your kids every time you go in there, buy something for your husband every time you go in there, and those things are great. You know, it's needed. You make other people you love feel good. But for me, I love doing those things, but I also love Mariah. So I do a monthly self-care, and my monthly self-care is to purchase an item for myself every month. And I know that may sound small to some people. They're like, well, why wouldn't you just purchase stuff anyway? You will be surprised that when you really sit down, and people comment below if you have been through this where you're literally doing for everybody and you are the last on your list. Well, no, Mariah is in the top 3 for me. All right, so for my third self-care thing, I guess my third tip is I have a yearly self-care. My yearly self-care is a little flexible because my yearly self-care involves Travis. We actually do a big trip every single year. Now, we do small trips throughout the year, which you all have saw on our channel, where we go like Myrtle Beach, we'll go to Panama City, we'll go camping, we'll do some smaller trips, Gatlinburg, we'll do throughout the year. But then we'll take a really large trip, like a really big cruise, or we'll go to a resort, which you all saw on our channel. You know, we'll do a big trip. So when I say a yearly self-care, it's a really nice time to take. For us, we use it as a big vacation that he and I work together to plan together. So our yearly goal is something that we gift ourselves, and it's really a time where the whole family looks forward to it. The next thing that I want to talk about, which I always lose count every time I start these things. I can't even remember if I'm on 3 or 4. I think I'm on 4 at this point. The fourth tip I would talk about is self-care with you and your partners. So I like to involve Travis in elements of my self-care, and also he involves me in his. So part of Travis' self-care is he likes to play video games. So there are times where he and we play games as a family. So Travis, Kyler, not really Kaisley because she don't really know what's going on, but we play family games together, so we get that family time in every month. I actually have that scheduled to where we get together and we play games and we have fun with each other every month. However, I will say that Travis and I actually have set aside time where we do a lot of little things together, and one of the things is I noticed his self-care was his video games, and so I started to play games with him, and that has been a lot of fun. Our favorite games to play is like Mario Kart. We play Mario Party. We got a couple games that we like to play together. Mario Party is super fun because Kyler Jones is in with us. We can play as a family, but I really realized that like self-care can be also with others at times, and in a way to where you are having a good time and it's not stressful. And so I would definitely say talk to your partner if you have a partner, or your friend or your family, about your self-care routine. Get tips from them, involve them if that's something that is going to enhance your routine. But I noticed that has been so much fun for me, and playing games and just involving my partner in my care for myself has been beautiful, because if I'm happy within myself, then everything else is flourishing. Number 5, my next tip for self-care. People ask me what are some of the things I do for my daily self-care routine, and what does that look like? So like I said, I end my day at 9 at night, and my self-care routine for myself that's daily, that's easy to manage, is one of my favorite things that I like to do is take a very nice bath. I love a bubble bath every day to just relax myself, just chill in my element, and it's great. I've always loved a bath because, you know, some people are more bath people, some people are more shower people. Well, I'm definitely a bath person. Well, while I take that bath, I actually like to use these. I have the Dr. Teal's Pure Epsom salts soaking solution. So this is the black elderberry with vitamin D and essential oils. So I have this one. And they have a lot of different ones. This big pack was just $5, and I only use a little. Or I put this in the bath. This is Pure Epsom salts. This is the eucalyptus and spearmint. I love eucalyptus, and if you all have watched some of my previous videos, then you know I also like to use a eucalyptus soap, which also is a natural herb that's supposed to help you de-stress, relax, and I love it. So I use these, and I love having these a part of my daily self-care routine. So part of my daily self-care is I take a bath and I use these salts. The next thing that I do, so I guess for number 6, the next thing I do during my daily self-care routine is I like to, while I take that bath, I love to light a candle. I love Bath and Body Works. This is just one of my favorites. This is the Frozen Lake candle. So I love seasonal candles, and I noticed that I'm just super happy when the room is smelling really good and I'm really relaxed. And so I like to light a candle, and these are very inexpensive. Bath and Body Works are definitely a place where they have a lot of deals where you can get candles if you want to include this as part of your daily self-care, a way to relax. You light a candle, and I do that and I love it. Also, for number 7, I would definitely say after I'm done taking that bath, I love to read. Anybody that knows me know that I love to read, and that's actually part of my self-care. I like to purchase new books, not monthly, but just whenever I see new releases. But also I love to read, and while I read, I like to have my candle lit and a nice dim light, and I like to just relax, check out, and read a really good book. Right now I'm reading 4 different books right now, and I'm loving every single one of them. And so I would say for number 7, reading is another way that I relax, and daily I try to read an hour a day, 100 pages a day. That's just a goal I set for myself. Definitely, I know others, you could do something else, but I really like that. So I guess for number 7, reading is definitely gonna be at the top of my list. All right, so for number 8, another way that I love to do self-care, and this can be a daily thing as well. For me, I learned that I really truly love educated conversation. Like, I love really educated conversation, and when I say that, it's like I like to listen to podcasts. I've recently discovered podcasts. They have been so awesome for me. So I like a lot of self-care podcasts, higher education podcasts, podcasts about history, podcasts about reading. I really love Black love podcasts, a lot of Black couple podcasts. I really like Black history, Black education. There's a theme here. So I really love stuff like that. I like a lot of women empowerment things, so women of all backgrounds, like women empowerment. I like to listen to podcasts like that. So I really love educated conversation. And when I'm on my ride home from work, especially if like in between picking up the kids, I'll listen to a podcast. So I'll pick Kaylee up from school. Her school is super close to my work. It's literally like a 3-minute drive. I'll pick her up, and then I'll start a podcast for the drive to get Kyler, which is about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's a nice time for me to hear educated conversation. Once Kyler gets in the car, I spend that time asking about her day, telling her. We do things like, you know, we spend time just talking to each other. I'm gonna show you all what are some things I do with my kids for self-care as well. Right, so for number 9 is actually children's self-care. I really encourage my kids at a young age to take care of their self-care and well-being. That's something that when I was growing up, we didn't talk about very much. It wasn't really out there like that. Now, in the media, it's everywhere, and everybody's talking about mental well-being and self-care. It's in every conversation, even at work, and I love that. I'm very happy about that. So how do we take care of ourselves? And well, I really feel like exposing your kids to self-care and well-being at a young age is extremely important, because I really feel like it'll help cut down on mental health issues and self-esteem issues. It'll definitely help them to love and appreciate themselves and know how to listen to them, their inner selves, and take care of themselves. So for number 9, I definitely, part of my self-care is, and also part of my daughter's self-care, because I teach her about self-care, is we talk about every day what she learned today. What was the high of the day? What was the low of the day? What can we do to improve that low of the day? How are you feeling? You know, we talk on the car ride home about those things, and then when she get home, we continue our conversation. So doing like a daily check-in with your little ones or your spouse. I do the same thing with Travis to see how his day is going. We kind of talk to each other about highs and lows. We have conversation. Also, what's helped with the conversation is having family dinners at the table and not in front of a screen. At one point we was doing that all the time, and I started to really want to encourage like in-person dinners and like us talking to each other at the dinner table, and that is something that has really improved conversation as well, and checking in with everybody and connecting with everybody after we've all been separate places for the day. So for kids, I feel like those conversations are important. Another piece of that is positive affirmations. So I always give Kyla a lot of positive affirmations, telling her, I'm really proud of you. You're doing a great job. I love how you're sweeping in the kitchen. I love that you made up your bed. You took the initiative. I always give her a lot of really positive affirmations. We also talk about some traits. Like I always ask her, like, what are some things that you love about yourself? What are some things that you want to improve? You know, we always talk about like self-improvement and self-evaluation introspection and reflection. And we do that at a 7-year, she's 7, but we do that because that's important for her to learn early how to process her feelings and thoughts and emotions, and how to be open and have open conversation with me as her mother. I hope by having these conversations with her early, it will encourage her at a young age to have open dialogue with me freely, and for her to like love herself enough too to want to dig deeper in herself, like spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and just be so in tune with herself even at a young age. Another self-care tip for kids is I also have Kyler. So you all saw my Dr. Till's ups and saw. I encourage Kyler at the end of each day as well is to take a nice bath, relax. She also has her own candle. I light the candle for her, and I also monitor the candle in her room to make sure she's not trying to burn down our house. But she does have her own candle, so I keep her room scented as well. She has the Dr. Till's Kids 3-in-1 essential oil, and this goes in her bath water. This is a every other day type of thing, but here it is. This is what she uses, and it actually helps her to relax. It's really nice. Kaisley is still a little too young for this one, but for Kyler, this goes in her bath water, and it is a nice relaxing essential oil. It's a bubble bath, and I think it's so nice. There it is. And so I definitely say that talking to your kids early about self-care is definitely only going to be beneficial, and I definitely want to encourage you all to talk to your kids about the importance of self-care. I also encourage Kyler to journal, to write, to be creative through art. You know, we do a lot of crafts and things together, and that is a part of self-care as well, teaching them to be creative, to express themselves in a healthy, comfortable way. And so that's part of what I've been doing to teach her how to develop her own self-care routine, and I have been open about my self-care routine with her, so she watches me do these things so she understands the value of them and why they're important. Well, I'm definitely over the 10 because I still have 2 more items to talk about, but I want to briefly mention like another self-care I did for me is I started to do things like really take care of my body. And I know that's something we all supposed to do anyway, but I will tell you, going through the hustle and bustle of the day, it's easy to neglect yourself. So some of the things I've started to do as far as self-care is I've started to use some more healthier deodorants. So I've switched over to like the Nave. I think that's the name of the brand. It's actually in there. I could get it, but it's a more healthier deodorant for myself. It's supposed to not cause because some deodorants they say may cause cancer and have some unhealthy things in it. So I've actually switched over to a different type of deodorant that is going to be healthier for my body. I also have started doing a lot of eye care because I have what's called dry eye, and I get like some artificial tears to go in there to keep my eyes very healthy. I also have switched over now to the Honey Pot Company for periods. So I have these pads. These are the ones that I love to use. It's black owned. You all, when I tell y'all I love these pads, I can't even. Oh y'all, this is just amazing. I love all of these products because these particular pads are awesome. They're all herbal, and they're also plant-driven feminine care products. And these have been amazing in my life. They even have, like, if you've used these before, you know what I'm talking about. When you put these on, it's like it massages you down there. Like, it has helped cut back period pains that I was experiencing. I have not had as many period pains since I started to use these pads. It has literally helped me so much. So that's a part of self-care, just doing things to take care of your body. Finally, for my last tip and my last self-care routine thing, and I do this daily now, I have, let me grab the products. I kind of have these on the floor, y'all. And this isn't even all the products that I have, but you all, I love facial care. So I do skincare on myself because I break out often. Unfortunately, I've always just struggled with breakouts, but I have basically cut down on breakouts now because I do a skincare routine daily, actually twice. I do it in the morning and at night. And some of the products that I use is I use this Aveeno Positive Rating Clear Complexion Moisturizer daily. I have a virgin coconut oil nourishing hydration that I use. I also have some raw honey. This is like a night cream by Shea Moisture that I like to use. I have a foaming deep cleanser that I use. I have a toner that I use, and I also have some serum that I use on my face. So I love doing my skincare routine in the morning and at night. I'm actually going to do a separate video about my actual skincare day and night routine that I do, so you all can check it out. For people that struggle with problematic skin, I have what's called ichthyosis, which is a natural dryness of the skin. It also causes the skin to flake up and be scaly. It causes acne. It can cause hair loss. It's actually a genetic mutation. So it actually means that one of my parents carried the gene for this mutation, and I actually have it. So I could pass it on to my children, which I hope I don't. So, but the positive is, if I ever did, I actually know how to help my children and work through that. So I will definitely say my skincare, I also have a mud mask. I don't do that daily. That's like once a week. But I would say part of my self-care has definitely been my skincare routine and what I do for my skin. It makes me feel better in my own clothes, and I just feel amazing doing it. I hope this video really inspired you to start a self-care routine. Like I said, my daily self-care routine includes my skincare that I do daily, listening to podcasts, and I love to read, and a nice bubble bath. That is so easy to do daily, you know, and I wind down and do all that daily. My monthly routine, it will be just buying myself something every month to make sure out of every check I get, I buy myself something. That's a promise I made to myself and that I have kept. And then my yearly self-care is a huge trip sometime in the year, and I sprinkle in little trips throughout the year because that's actually a part of my husband's self-care, and that's a part of my self-care, and we love it. So I hope to inspire you all that going into the new year that you will develop a self-care routine. Oh, there was one more thing. My husband and I develop vision boards every year. So we skipped a couple of years. So this year we're actually going to be working on a vision board together as a family. Myself, him, and Travis, and Casey, of course, will be working on a family vision board. And we also create individual vision boards for ourselves. That's also a part of self-care because we like to measure our goals, and we like to talk about our goals as a family, and we like to kind of move and support each other through our goals. So that's part of that self-care. So I want to encourage you all to really get together as a family, really get together with yourself, and think about how you want to love on yourself just a little bit more this season. And I know you all will be buying a bunch of gifts and stuff like that for people this year. Maybe consider purchasing something for somebody that's going to help them through some self-care, or inspired to get more involved in their self-care, or help them through a tough time, or just something that will provide some more relaxing vibes for someone. All right, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm going to be posting on Instagram pictures of my self-care stuff, and follow us on Instagram at Locked In with the Liggins. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like our content, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.